Hello, welcome back to Dragon Quest IV, Chapters of the Chosen. This time, The Chosen.
Ah,
We've
shit,
reached
there are
their
chapters
chapter.
about those guys. I feel like I made that exact joke last time.
Probably. And just a reminder, this would be, in the NES version, this would be the first time you encountered your hero.
Mm-hmm. It
Alright,
just...
after everything we've done, we're now doing the most generic JRPG start in any game.
Alright, well then. I mean, prologue ended with Dad just going like, dang, there's all sorts of people in this world, just imagine what that must be like. And we've been imagining that for 13 episodes, and now it's just a completely different day.
Mm-hmm.
What if all those chapters didn't actually happen? Well, what if that's just our imagination? Walk through a hall and there's just like a sword, there's like a magazine for dancers, and we just usual suspected ourselves.
Anyways, Eliza is just doing everything she can to death flag every single person in this village. I feel like it's gotten to the point where in real life, if somebody said like, man, I wish things could just be this peaceful forever, I would smack them across the face and tell them to take it back. Uh-oh. We let a stranger in.
Well, hello there, Sephiroth.
I was about to say, who let Sephiroth into here?
I mean, we've seen poets before, and they haven't looked this intense.
This world is imperfect.
What?
Alright. It's kind of heavy talk for just giving you lunch, but sure.
Okay, well then. Goodbye.
Anyways, you hear about this weird poet they let in the village? Uh-oh. Damn, he wasted no time, huh?
Get out of here, Sophia, you suck too much.
I thought this was the safe haven.
Alright, get her to Safe Haven 2, the sequel. By the way, we're not your true parents. Anyway, I'll tell you more about that later. See you then.
Oh, there was a secret or safe haven.
Man, if you just let me level grind a little bit, I wouldn't be so unprepared for this. Is that good?
I don't know, I can't tell who's winning.
Hey, we had great times together, right?
So remember what Eliza could do in the prologue?
Ooh, jeez. Well, that's gonna suck for her.
Alright, we did it! Kill the shit out of her! Hey, any chance somebody was just taking her form as like a disguise or something? Nah, we're good.
That's not real. Alright, well, I guess, there's no indication that they kept going after they got Eliza. No, everything's
Ooh.
fucked.
Well, they work quickly.
This is where
What luck.
Eliza was laying down earlier. So I think this is her hat. We can't equip it. You gotta be strong, Sophia. So, I understand that, your home village being destroyed is the JRPG cliche. And there's a spectrum for, if it's done well, if it's done poorly. This might be my favorite use of the trope.
Oh, really?
Something about... I think it's specifically the way Eliza gets the destruction to stop.
Mm-hmm.
It just makes it feel really devastating and depressing. Anyways, we finally got a bestiary.
Well, thank goodness for that, at least.
I think you get a reward if you fill it out. I'm not doing that. Fuck you. In fact, I think this is the only time I've ever looked at this. But yeah, not to bring up other things, but like I really like Xenogears,
Mm-hmm.
and that is also well known for the amount of like thought and effort it put into its village destruction sequence.
Yeah.
But I don't know, something about this village just hit a lot harder than that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of a tricky thing where, like, you have to have your inciting incident, so, like, that's gotta be the beginning, because otherwise you might just go on too long if you try to establish too much. But, like, it's also emotional stakes that are developed right at the start, which is always a bit of a risk. A lot of people can bounce off that really easily, but I feel like if you just suspend your disbelief a little bit, you can, in most cases, just go like, okay, yeah, I can see why the character would care about this, even if I'm not, as into it. Like, this does an alright job of, like, especially the DS version, showing you this village at the start, and then you get to see the rest of the world for a bit. And then you get to come back here and you're like, oh, they were death flagging at the start a little bit, huh? Oh no, they're doing it more here now. Oh damn. Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah, I do think that, short as it was, the addition of the prologue is what makes the losing the village hurt as much as it does.
Yeah, definitely, because I'm guessing, if Eliza was in the original, it was probably more or less the same, so I think especially it makes sense to show you that she can do that at the start. Give you a little bit of a preview of that.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, let's talk to this adventuring crew. They seem to have a warrior, a martial artist, a gadabout, and a merchant, so they're fucked. That's a really unbalanced team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hear gadabout's kind of tricky to use.
They have no healing. In the original release of 3, the gadabout was it was a Magikarp. Like, they were absolutely terrible until they hit level 20, at which point you can turn them into a different class. That was better.
But yeah, I think absolutely establishing somebody has the ability to morph definitely lets that breathe a little bit without it just being like, okay, here's chapter 5, okay, here's this character, now they're gone. Even if you don't see her as much, it's established, so you get at least some time to, not immediately be smacked upside the head with it.
Yeah. Instead of it becoming like, here's this thing I can do, it's a callback, and that just makes it... I've already said hurt more too many times, but it makes it hurt more.
Mm-hmm.
God damn, we're going to Endor again.
Monsters hate
no.
him.
Yeah. I mentioned this to you privately. One of my favorite things about this game is that because the monsters think they've killed the hero or heroine, target number 2 is anybody who has gone out of their way to make lives better for humans, and it's going to be the person who's investing in public infrastructure.
Mm-hmm. Hey, rich
We have
people
to
are
stop
supposed to be on our
Tortico.
side. Get his ass.
Tortico Taloon is making the world safe to travel, and we hate that.
Get him. Get that son of a bitch. I will say, I was curious about how I'd feel about, like, adding this prologue, and I definitely do think it's a better idea overall. But at the start, I was like, I was kind of interested in that there's this kind of, like, air of mystery to it, like, who your actual main character is. You're told to, like, give the name at the start, and then it's just like, well, anyway, here's Ragnar.
Yeah.
And I think, if it weren't as well established, I think if it were just, like, an ordinary beginning, maybe without the whole village destruction thing, it would be kind of cool to be like, okay, now here's your protagonist after all this time, but yeah, I think the prologue's definitely the best idea overall.
Yeah. I do like the idea of, like, a game that says, alright, enter your name, and you think you're naming the main character, but that no character shows up with that name until, like, the last chapter.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, oh, where have you been?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm still keeping my fingers crossed that something like that's gonna happen in Deltarune. I've got a feeling.
Yeah.
If the ass thrashing machine can make a comeback, so can the other thing.
Anyways, the least fun part of every Dragon Quest, trying to figure out what I can afford to buy this early in a journey.
Yeah, what do you need more? Strength or defense?
Generally speaking, you should prioritize strength, but we've already upgraded to a copper sword,
Mm-hmm.
so I went ahead and bought a shield.
Also guessing that we probably don't have any magic yet. They were mentioning at the start that, like, they wanted to teach us magic, but we're still only level 1.
Yeah. I can mention that hero is typically a class in Dragon Quest, and heroes tend to be very balanced.
Mm-hmm.
They can do decent physical damage, decent magic damage. They have decent healing and decent utility. And I mentioned this when I first brought up party composition. Anything that you have to leave out in your party comp is what your hero is going to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he didn't dig it. He paid to have it dug.
It was very expensive, though. If you find Tornico Taloon and he's not dead, can you just, like, tell him I have a message for him? Thanks.
I love how often people are talking about Tornico. He really is just monster enemy number 1 now. Like, the monsters have a fucking list, and now that Sophia's off of it, Tornico is next. Alright, are you guys sick of Endor yet? Oh, hey. Well, I'll do that in a second.
Enough
First,
of
I
that.
need to talk to everyone. I guess we can go look at the wedding.
Alright, pardon me. Dead girl walking.
Remember, yeah, don't ask to see any ID.
It's not a legality thing, it's a monsters will kill me if I do thing.
You know, we never do get the scene where, like, the monster that killed Eliza has to explain why he thought that he killed the heroine. Like, no, you don't understand. It was her. It looked exactly like her.
She had green hair. I saw her on the box art. It had to be her.
Alright, well, they'll just let us wander around. Why are they kissing again?
Man, they're really going for it, huh?
Yeah, I don't just sit and watch, but, like, they will just keep coming together, kiss, and then back off, and then come back together and kiss, and they'll just do that on loop.
This is a weird ceremony.
It's like... It's like they're doing it for a photo and they can't get it quite right.
Alright, here's the marriage ritual. We're going to make you kiss until you're really tired of the concept of kissing. There we go. Now you'll never smooch again. Got him.
I do like this, Mina, just telling your fortune and then realizing halfway through what she's actually saying.
Oh shit, I've been looking for you. My god, you're the chosen! And then there's just a slime outside the village passing by like, holy shit! Thought we killed her!
I feel like the slimes aren't organized.
Somebody should tell the boss about this! Keeps going.
Or like, they don't even have a boss. The slimes are just wild animals. Yeah, we can talk about that maybe later in the Let's Play. But one of the few things that always strikes me as odd in Dragon Quest is what the monsters seem to represent. Because, like, for the most part, they feel like wild animals, and their danger is just, like, a sign that things are bad.
Yeah, it's
So,
kind of your
it's less-
typical monster in RPGs.
Yeah, it's less that they're actively causing the problems, and more like because they're evil people doing evil things, nature is fucked up. But whenever the monsters are organized and they can talk and they have personalities, it's harder to pass them off solely as a metaphor because now they're people. And Dragon Quest IV addresses that in a very strange way. And honestly, I keep thinking about like how Dragon Quest V dealt with it, and I can't really say that it's better. Dragon Quest V gets very close to making some unfortunate subtext into just text. Anyways, we have Maya again. Incidentally, this is why you don't get to have any of the Mahavala sisters' money. Maya spent it all gambling.
Damn it, Maya. Alright, well, this is mildly embarrassing for Ragnar. Like, chapter 1, he's just out there like, okay, I've done my thing, now I'm gonna find the hero. Well, guess what, Ragnar? Now the entire village is burnt down, and also we've just met other characters first.
Yeah, in the anime adaptation, as Sophia is like somberly leaving the village in the background, you can just see Ragnar entering the village. It's just an American Tale, but with Ragnar and Sophia. Just constantly barely missing each other. Also, I'm glad you mentioned the Ragnar on your own because one funny thing about the fandom is that they can't really seem to agree on how long Ragnar has even looking for Sophia.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, the monsters are going after kids in his chapter. And it's not clear if they don't know how old Sophia is, if it's the joke from Sleeping Beauty where they've been looking for a baby for 18 years, or if Sophia was a child at that point, and then Ragnar was just looking for her for like 12 years.
Yeah, he almost reached her, but then there wasn't a tunnel there when he got to that part of the world, and so he kept going, and he's like halfway across the continent when Tornico actually got that thing set up.
Mm-hmm. And since Ragnar is one of the older characters, you can't really... You wouldn't expect him to age noticeably.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there is combat in this chapter. As you can see, we're being carried by the sisters. Alright. New chapter. We finally unlocked tactics for our party members.
Alright.
So instead of commanding them directly, you can set them up to do different things generally. They are Show No Mercy, which will spend as much MP as possible to kill the enemy as quickly as possible.
Mm-hmm.
There's Don't Spend MP, which will kill the enemy as quickly as possible without spending MP. There's Focus on Healing, which focuses on healing. I think there is Cover Me, which will encourage them to use more stat boosting moves. And then there is Fight Wisely, where they will use magic, but also they will use status effect spells.
Mm-hmm.
In the NES version, that was the only way you could control your party members.
Oh no.
You could not give them direct orders. You could only tell them what to do, like that.
Oh god, after a whole game, like... Was that how it was in previous chapters in the NES version, or did you have full control of them there?
You had full control in the previous chapters. This was only in Chapter 5.
Oh no. Why would you do that?
Now, I do spend a bit of this Let's Play letting the AI control the party members.
Mm-hmm.
I typically take direct control for, like, boss fights. Funnily enough, I think in the later games it can be more useful because due to, like, the way vocations work in later games, your toolkit gets way too big, and sometimes it's useful to just let the AI do what they think is best.
Alright, game, you remember what is here for me.
Also, I think it cheats in your favor because I remember in 7, at one point, my AI party member used a poison-inflicting spell on the final boss, and it was doing, like, 7,000 damage per turn.
Wow.
And I have a feeling you probably can't inflict that very often.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure the AI knew it would be worth it. Anyways, we've been given directions. We're going to Casablanca. And I did want to spend a little time getting some experience for Sophia.
Mm-hmm.
Maya and Mina are overleveled for this area, but it's still useful to use them for a few fights.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, we've had our town burned to the ground. We've found the Mahavala sisters. I think Sophia's had a day and probably wants to just take a rest.
Time for bed.
We will work on continuing the story next time.
Just gonna shove myself under these covers and never leave.